Alright guys, so ACA 121, Karefov versus Albaskanov. 12 fights on the entire fight. The main event, Nikola Dipchikov and Magomed Gazanov for the interim ACA middleweight belt. The actual middleweight champion, I think got injured before he was supposed to fight Nikola Dipchikov, but now they're putting this fight in for the interim belt right here. It's going to be a really good fight in the main event right here. The other fight that I'm really happy that's going to happen is Hakran Diaz and then Amir Khanadayev. That fight is going to be insane, bro. There's a lot of other really good fights on the fight card, but 12 fights on the entire fight card. We have Hardison, Batista, Cleverson Silva, Kusain Shikaev, a lot of really good fighters on this fight card. But we're going to get it started with the first fight on the fight card. If I can get the names correctly, in the bantamweight division, Vasha Tizi Patura and Kanat Khalidbekov. Again, if I'm saying the names correctly, we have Kanat Khalidbekov moving down from the featherweight division to the bantamweight division to fight Vasha Tizi Patura. If I'm saying the names correctly, he has 9 wins, 1 loss, and 1 draw. 5'6" tall. Kanat Khalidbekov is also 5'6" tall. Moving down from the featherweight to the bantamweight division. Vasha is a beast. 9 wins, 1 loss, and 1 draw. His only loss way at the beginning of his career in 2016. After that, he looked really good. Had 1 more win, had a record of 3 wins and 1 loss. Joined the ACA, got a first round head kick KO win. Won us at an M1 challenge, got a 3rd round submission, a 2nd round submission, and then a 1st round submission. Every single one of those submissions coming by guillotine choke submission. After that, a decision win, and then another draw against Rafael Diaz. And then a unanimous decision win against Salim Evloev. He's a very good grappler. Has very good submission skills from the bottom. I mean, his guillotine is like, if you ever see the featherweight champion side of Bellator, Patricio Pitbull, his guillotine is just so tight. That goes for him right here. His guillotine is so tight. Once he kind of gets a hold of that guillotine, you're kind of gonna have to tap or you're gonna go unconscious. But his opponent cannot right here. 20 wins and 7 losses. He is on a 2-fight losing streak right now to some pretty good fighters. In Alexander Madmurato by 1st round knockout and Walter Pajeda Jr. By unanimous decision. His other loss to Kusain Shikaev, the man is an absolute beast. Askab Zulayev, I'm not even gonna try and say that name. But he's a very good striker. You guys can already see right here. 12 knockout wins, 5 submission wins, and 3 decision win. I mean, he has so much power in his hands, a lot of experience on this man's record. 27 total fights. He mainly goes out there, tries to keep the fight on the feet, defend the takedowns, because he is inside the ACA. A lot of guys inside the ACA are just going to go out there, look for those takedowns, get you down, go for submission after submission after submission. Vasha Tizi Patari is going to do the exact same thing. He's going to go out there and try to get the fight on the ground as soon as possible. Cannot kill the backup, is going to keep the fight on the feet if he wants to, and try to get a knockout in the 1st or 2nd round, or just make it a dominant striking performance in the fight and win the fight by unanimous decision. But Vasha's takedowns are really good, and once he gets you down, he'll be on top. Like, he'll literally be on top of Kanat and still manage to get that guillotine. His submission skills are so good. He's still a young fighter in his career. I believe like 25 or 26 years old. But Vasha's an absolute beast, so I'm gonna be going with him. Not sure if he's gonna get a submission in the fight. He has very good grappling, so I would not be surprised if he does get a submission in the fight, but I have a weird feeling this fight's gonna go all the way, because if you look at how many of his fights that he's lost have been submissions, none of the losses have come by submission. So I think overall this fight's going to go all the way, and Vasha Tizi Paturi is going to win the fight by 29-28 unanimous decision. After that, we have Mehdi Baidulayev and Ilya Volinets. This fight is a featherweight fight, a very good fight. This man right here, he's a youngster with 8 wins and 3 losses. Both fighters 5'9" tall. Volinets, if you look at his couple of fights, he's a very good striker. 4 knockout wins, 1 submission win, and 3 decision win. Most of his knockouts are coming in the 1st round. He's a very good kickboxer, and some pretty good submission defense, and some pretty good grappling as well. But his opponent, Mehdi Badulayev, very good guy. 9 wins, 2 losses. 2nd round submission, 1st round submission, decision win. 1st round knockout, 2nd round knockout, 2nd round submission, 2nd round knockout. He's pretty much good wherever you look at him. I mean, he's a really good striker. He has a really good power. And he also has these submissions to back it up as well. So in this fight right here, he can kind kind of keep it a little bit even on the feet with Ilya Volynets, considering Ilya Volynets is going to want to keep the fight on the feet and make it more of a striking fight. But if they make it sort of an even type of striking and kickboxing type of fight, Mehdi Badulayev is going to go out there and wait till Ilya Volynets kind of overcommits a little bit on a right hand, and then he's going to shoot him for that double leg, get him down, get some ground and pound, go for some submissions, and overall, I think Mehdi Badulayev is going to get him down, and probably win the fight by decision. I don't think we're going to see a submission or a TKO from Mehdi Badulayev in the fight. We could possibly see Volynets get a KO TKO in the first round, but this should be a very good featherweight fight. But I am going with Mehdi Badulayev to win the fight by 30-27 unanimous decision. After that, we have a flyweight fight, Mehan Sylvain, and then Asim Khan Rakhmonov. This is a really good flyweight fight. We have 28.5 years old, 25. God, I don't even know what I'm saying, guys. 28.5 years old, 5'6" tall, in the flyweight division. This man has really good grappling, and he also has some power in his hands. If you look right here, 4 KO TKO wins, 7 submission wins on his record, and 4 decision wins out of his 5 professional losses. 1 loss by submission, no losses by KO TKO, and then 4 losses by decision. His opponent, 5 wins and 2 losses. Not as much experience as he has 19 fights on his professional MMA record. He only has 7 fights on his total MMA record, 5 wins and 2 losses. Every single one coming by either decision or KO TKO. The thing is, Mehan Sylvain has never been KO'd in his professional career, and that is the main way I see Makhmonov winning the fight, is going out there and getting a first or second round knockout. But Mehan Sylvain has a really good chin, really good defense in the striking game. Also has some pretty good striking of his own. Also has some pretty good power in the striking game. He can back it up even if the striking is not doing too good. He's one of those guys who also has a really good jiu-jitsu background, a really good wrestling background, and can take the fight down whenever he wants to in the fight. So I think Mehan Silva is going to clip him in the striking game, try to get him down after clipping him, go for a takedown, get him down, try to get a lot of ground and pound shots, and I think he's going to end up winning the fight by submission, probably rear naked choke submission, because I think he's going to rock Rakhmonov in the first round, get him down, get that takedown, and land a lot of ground and pound, and then get the submission after that. So I'm hoping he's probably going to get a first or second round rear naked choke submission in the fight. So I am Mehan Silva winning the fight by submission in the first or second round. We have another flyweight fight right here, Anton Larkov and Andre Kalishis. This fight is very interesting. It's weird to see right here that you don't really know what these fights actually ended up as. I have no idea. It says result is unknown, unknown. I don't know what that means. I'm assuming he won those fights. I just really don't know. All I do know is he's a very good grappler. 7 submissions on his record. Every single one by armbar or rear naked choke submission. He usually gets you down, lays a lot of good ground pound shots, and hopefully you're kind of dumb enough to give your back a little bit, and he kind of sinks in that rear naked choke submission really easily. He gets your back so easily, and it's going to be really tough for a guy like Andre Kalishits, who has 5 wins and 1 loss, who's mainly a grappler as well, but is just not really near the grappling pedigree as his opponent in the fight. Anton Larkov has really good submission skills, far better than Andre Kalishits. So I think it's very possible we see a submission from Anton Larkov in the fight, but considering Andre Kalishis also has some pretty good submission skills on his record, every single one of his wins are coming by submission. I'm going to say the fight is going to go all the way. It's going to be mainly a grappling and ground and pound, controlling type of fight on the ground. Maybe we see a little bit of clinch work in the fight, but overall, I think Anton Larkov is going to control the fight on the ground for the most part, and end up winning the fight by unanimous decision. After that, we have an absolute beast, Kasayan Shakayev, 5 wins and no losses, and then Cleverson Silva. This fight in the bantamweight division, Kasayan Shakayev is only 23, almost 24 years old, 5'7" tall. His opponent, Cleverson Silva, 14 wins and 4 losses. Also 5'7" tall. I'm gonna take a look at Cleverson Silva really quick. Then I'm gonna look at Kasayan Shakayev, who is an absolute beast, 100%. But Cleverson Silva, 14 wins and 4 losses. Very good grappler and has a lot of power in the striking game. 5 KO TKO wins, 4 submission wins, and 4 decision wins. Most of his knockouts are coming in the striking game. He has a lot of power in the stand-up, and once he gets you down, he has very good ground and pound. And some very good submission skills as well. But his opponent, Kasayan Shakayev, I mean, all around, he's just an amazing fighter. Really good wrestling, really good kickboxing, and very good submission skills. coming off a very close decision win against Elena Lopez, a first-round guillotine, a first-round submission win, a decision win, and a second-round submission win. All these wins are coming by submission or unanimous or split decision, mainly because his main game plan is to get you down, use that wrestling and grappling advantage, get you down, and win the fight by submission, or dominate you there and win the fight by unanimous decision. He hasn't really got to show his striking pedigree all too much in many of his fights, but I don't think he's really going to need to against Cleverson Silva, because he also is mainly a grappling type of fighter, has some pretty good power in the striking game, but I think for the most part, this fight is gonna spend for the most part either in the clinch or on the ground, and the person that I think is gonna go for the takedowns and try to get the fight to the ground is 100% gonna be the amazing wrestler and the amazing grappler in Kasai Shakayev. I mean, the man is an absolute beast. I think he's gonna get him down. Cleverson Silva, just being the guy that has a really good submission defense, also having some pretty good wrestling, I don't think he's gonna get submitted by Kasai Shakayev, so I think this fight is also gonna be going all the way, and Kasai Shakayev is gonna win the fight by unanimous decision. After that, this is a really good fight. Lucas Copera and Hardison Batista. This fight is a lightweight fight, 28.5 years old and 32 and almost 1.5 years old. Lucas Copera, 5'9" tall, so a 2-inch height advantage over Hardison Batista in the fight. Hardison Batista, 14 wins and 5 losses. If you look at how he wins his fights, very good striking. That's all you really need to know with this guy. 6 KO TKO wins, 7 decision wins, and 1 submission win. He's one of those guys where if the fight goes to the ground, he doesn't really know too much of what to do. Needs some pretty good submission defense, not the best takedown defense, but a lot of power in his hands and can knock you out with one punch in any of his fights. And then Lucas Copera, really good striker and very good grappler, 10 wins and 4... and 4 losses. Has a lot of knockouts on his record, 3 knockout wins and 4 submission wins, and then 3 decision wins. Mainly, he goes out there, tries to make it more of a grappling type of fight, get you down, try to get some ground and pound, go for some submissions every now and then. Most of his last couple of fights have kind of been spending on the feet, because his opponents have very good wrestling and takedown defense, have really good submission defense, everything like that. And Hardison Batista is one of those guys who has pretty okay takedown defense, but is a really good scrambler. And that Lucas Copera, even if he gets on top of Hardison Batista in the fight, gets on top of him, Hardison Batista is going to scramble right back up onto the feet and make it a striking fight right after that. And if this fight is a striking fight, which I think it will be, 100%, Hardison Batista is going to win the fight. He just has so much power in his hands, so I think he's going to win the fight by first round knockout or win the fight by 30-27 unanimous decision. After that, we have another lightweight fight, an undefeated fighter in Ilya Kotkevich and Plymouth Bracharov. This is a really interesting fight. We have a 24.5-year-old fighter and a 27.5-year-old fighter, so 2 young fighters instead of the ACA. Ilya Kotkevich, 6 wins and 0 losses, decision win, and decision win, and then 1 first round knockout. Doesn't really have much finishing abilities. That only 1 knockout right here. Those are punches by referee stoppage against Umar Shakarov, who has 0 wins and 2 losses. So against legit competition, which he only had 1 fight inside the ACA, doesn't really show the best finishing ability in his striking game. He is mainly a striker, but doesn't really show that finishing ability like a guy like Hardison Batista, who has so many knockouts on his record. His opponent, Plymouth Bracharov, if I'm saying the name correctly, 9 wins and 2 losses. If you look at how he wins his fights, 3 KO TKO wins, 1 submission win, and 5 decision wins. Now, even though Ilya Kotkevich does not have any KO TKO wins on his record, except for that 1 win early in his career, against a guy that has 0 wins and 2 losses. Everything except for that is a unanimous decision, so he doesn't really have the power to knock a fighter out in any of his fights. Plymouth Bracharov probably has a little bit more power than Ilya Kotkevich does, but still, I don't think this fight is going to end in the first or second round. This is one of those fights where it's going to be a very technical kickboxing fight. Both fighters don't really have very good submission skills, don't really have any really good wrestling, anything like that. They're both really mainly kickboxers. They're going to keep the fight on the feet and try to win the fight by unanimous decision, considering both fighters do not really have that finishing ability. So I think it's going to be a really close fight. I think it's going to be 29-28, going either way. I'm not really sure what the betting odds are. Oh my god, 96% going for Kotkevich to win the fight. I think that the only reason there's that many people going for him to win the fight is because he has a record of 6 wins and 0 losses. I definitely think it's a much closer fight than 96% going for him. I think the main way that they're all saying he's going to win the fight is because of that record. Let's see if I can find the betting odds for it, because look right here. Minus 350 for Mehdi Badulayev. I mean, come on. Come on, guys. Come on, bro. Wait a minute. Whoa. That says Ilya Volinets. Yo, they have the same name. Never mind, that's a different odds right there. Oh my god, they have two guys with the same name. There you go, guys. Ilya Kotkevich. God dang. Minus 500 and then plus 375. So the betting odds are really in favor of Ilya Kotkevich. I'm sorry about that. There's two guys with the name of Ilya on this fight card. I'm sorry I messed up in that part. But he is a 5-1 favorite. I think the odds should be a little bit closer. I don't think he should be a 96% favorite on the tablet predictions. I think the betting odds should be a lot closer, maybe around minus 200 for Ilya Kotkevich in the fight. But overall, I still think the betting odds are a little off. I think the tablet predictions are a little off. But overall, the kickboxing and the boxing of Ilya Kotkevich is going to be enough for him to win the fight by 29-28 unanimous decision. Again, sorry about that. There's two guys on the fight card with the same exact first name. And then after that, we have a really good welterweight fight. Charisi Dudayev. I'm going to say it right now. He's going to win the fight. Charisi Dudayev is an absolute beast. Taking on Igor Saviri. This fight is a welterweight fight. I already said it. Charisi Dudayev is going to win the fight. His opponent, Igor Saviri, is 24 and a half years old. Charisi Dudayev, I believe, is like 28 or 29 years old. He's a very young fighter in the prime of his MMA career. Pretty much every single one of his wins, except for these three ones right here, are coming by first, second, knockout, submission, everything like that. He's finishing a lot of his fights. 6 submission wins, 2 KO TKO wins, and 3 decision wins. Out of his losses, 1 loss by KO TKO and 1 loss by unanimous decision. Has really good striking and really good submission skills. A lot of people are saying he's gonna win the fight by submission. I totally agree with that. His armbar is just nasty, man. I mean, if you do not tap to this man's armbar, he's gonna break your arm. I think in this fight, he's not gonna tap. And legit, my prediction for this fight is Igor Saviri's arm is gonna snap. That's my prediction. I think it's gonna be an armbar crack. That's legit my prediction for the fight. Charisi Dudayev is gonna go out there, get a takedown in the first round, easily get on top, get full mount, and I don't even think he's gonna go for the ground and pound. Because I think he wants to keep on getting more submissions and more submissions and more submissions and try to get that armbar submission. So to be honest, I think he's gonna snap his arm. I definitely have Charisi Dudayev winning that fight by submission in the first or second round. After that, we have a featherweight fight, a top 150 featherweight fighter right here. Ali Khan Suleimanov, 12 wins and 3 losses, 5'11" inches tall. Kurban Taigibov, if I'm saying the name correctly, sorry. 10 wins and 2 losses, 5'10" inches tall. This is interesting. It's a very interesting fight. Ali Khan, 12 wins and 3 losses. Has a lot of finishes. First on triangle, first on anaconda, first on rear naked, first on rear naked, first on north-south choke submission, unanimous decision, third round submission, decision win, second round TKO, and then a second round submission. I mean, at the beginning of his career, he was literally finishing every single one of his fights on a first round submission. Absolutely insane. I mean, he's just a finishing machine. Has very good submission skills and has some pretty decent striking. Has some pretty good power on the feet. Kurban Taigibov, if I'm saying the name correctly. Again, I'm from America, guys. I'm gonna say some of these names incorrectly, but this guy right here has some pretty good striking. Has 4 knockout wins on his record and 6 decision wins on his record. I don't even care, bro. His striking is very good. He does have some pretty good power in his hands. But when you're facing a guy like Ali Khan Suleimanov, who has really good wrestling, really good submission skills, if this man gets you down, he's gonna finish you or he's gonna dominate you and win the fight by unanimous decision. So I think one of those things is gonna happen in the fight. I think there's probably like a 5% chance that Kurban here is gonna win the fight by KO TKO in the first round. If he does not win the fight by first round knockout, the fight's gonna 100% go to Ali Khan Suleimanov. He has really good wrestling, really good grappling, and he's gonna win the fight by first or second round submission. In this featherweight fight right here. I said it at the beginning of the video, this fight right here is probably going to be a fight of the night. Amir Khan Adayev and Hakran Diaz. This fight is a lightweight fight. Amir Khan Adayev, 5'10" inches tall, 17 wins and 3 losses. Hakran Diaz, 25 wins, 6 losses, and 1 draw, 36 and almost 37 years old. A veteran fighter in the lightweight, in the featherweight division. He's a veteran fighter, 25 wins, 6 losses, and 1 draw. A lot of people are going for Adayev to win the fight. fight. If you look at Hagran Diaz, 25 wins, 6 losses, and 1 draw. He's such a veteran, so many fights. I mean, he has like more than 35 professional MMA fights, which is, I mean, it is absolutely insane. 10 submission wins, 12 decision wins, and 3 KO TKO wins. I'm curious to see when he joined the UFC 2012. Decision win over Luriel Contra, lost 2 fights to Nick Lentz and Ricardo Lamas, beat Darren Elkins, Levan Makashvili. After that, fought Cub Swanson, Andre Fili, Jared Gordon, left the UFC, got a first round armbar submission, and then got that unanimous decision win inside of the ACA. So he had a couple of fights inside the UFC, beat guys like Darren Elkins, Luriel Contra, fought Cub Swanson, Andre Fili, Jared Gordon. So he had a pretty good run inside the UFC in 2016 and 2015. But I'm sorry, Hagran Diaz, your opponent is an absolute beast. Amir Khanadayev. He has such a bright future ahead of him. 17 wins and 3 losses. The man is a beast. He's a really, really well-rounded fighter. 6 KO TKO wins, 4 submission wins, and 6 decision wins. With 1 DQ win right there. I believe it was because like an illegal up kick or something like that. I'm not sure when that happened. Yeah, it was right here in his second last fight. It was crazy. But yeah, he won one of those fights by a second round illegal up kick, something like that. But before that, was in a 4-fight win streak with second round knockout, unanimous decision win, a unanimous decision win, and then another unanimous decision win. His only losses by first round knockout, first round TKO, against an amazing fighter who's inside of the UFC right now, in Magomed Mustafayev. Joshua Alves by split decision, has really, really, really good striking. 6 KO TKO wins, 4 submission wins, and 6 decision wins. I mean, what can I say? Hagran Diaz does have a very, very good submission skills. Amir Khanadayev has very, very good submission defense, really, really good wrestling and takedown defense, and also has a much, much better kickboxing and boxing than Hagran Diaz does. So, when you have a guy that can defend the takedowns from Hagran Diaz, defend the submissions from Hagran Diaz, and is a better striker than Hagran Diaz, I mean, there's no way I'm going for Hagran Diaz to win the fight. So my prediction for the fight, I think it's going to be a very hard task to finish a guy like Hagran Diaz. So I'm going to say that Amir Khanadayev is going to win the fight. A 30-27 unanimous decision should be an amazing, amazing fight. In a lightweight fight, sorry. And then I believe this is going to be the co-main event. Oleg Borisov and Shamil Shagbulato. This fight is a bantamweight fight. 12 wins and 3 losses. The first thing you kind of notice right here is Oleg Borisov is literally like this much smaller than I am. I am 5'7" tall. This guy right here, 22 wins, 6 losses, and 1 draw. 36 years old, is 5'3" tall. And you know what that means. He's a wrestler, 100%. Shamil Shambulatov is 5'9" tall, giving him a 6-inch height advantage in the fight. I'm not really sure what his reach is, because it shows what Oleg Borisov's reach is in the fight, but I'm not really sure what his reach is. But just looking at that height alone, I mean, that is insane. A 6-inch height advantage for almost a top 100 bantamweight fighter in the world. Absolutely insane. 12 wins and 3 losses. Let's see right here. 5 KO TKO wins, 0 submission wins, and 7 decision wins. You already know what this man's trying to do, and you already know what Oleg Borisov is trying to do in the fight. Shamil is trying to keep the fight on the feet, make it a kickboxing fight, try to KO you, try to TKO you, win the fight in a dominant striking performance, and win the fight by unanimous decision. And then Oleg Borisov is obviously going to try to take you down, get you down, land a lot of ground and pound shots, go for a couple of submissions, and just dominate you on the ground. Oleg Borisov just has a really, really good wrestling, very, very good submission skills. He is 36 years old right now, so that could play a factor in the fight. Coming off a first round knockout win over Cleverson Silva. Before that was on a 3-fight losing streak. If you look at how he wins his fights, 12 KO TKO wins, that mainly by TKO, not really in the striking game, because he is a smaller fighter. He sometimes he has knockouts in the striking game, where he kind of closes the distance a little bit and throws a big right hand, and knocks his opponent out. But mainly, if he's gonna get the finish, he's gonna get you down and get the TKO. Otherwise, he's just gonna dominate you on the ground and win the fight by unanimous decision. That's pretty much it right here. He's the wrestler. He's trying to take you down, win the fight by TKO. Shamil Shabulatov is trying to keep the fight on the feet, dominate the fight on the feet, and win the fight by unanimous decision, or win the fight by first round KO. Is one of those things is gonna happen in the fight. And because Shamil Shabulatov, I've seen some of his fights against really, really good wrestlers. I mean, I'm very surprised on how good his wrestling and takedown defense is, because he's facing some really, really good wrestlers who have really, really good takedowns, but he's defending them very, very well. So when you have a guy that has really, really good takedown defense and has really, really good power in his hands, really, really good kickboxing, I'm gonna go with Shamil Shamulatov to win the fight, possibly by first round knockout, but I'm gonna say the fight is most likely gonna go all the way, and Shamil Shamulatov is gonna win the fight 30-27 or 29-28 unanimous decision. Then we have finally made it to the main event. I'm pretty sure what was the main event supposed to be for the fight card. Azamat Kerafov, 14 wins and 0 losses. And then Rasul Al-Aliskano, I don't even know, man. I don't even know if I'm saying the names correctly anymore. But that was supposed to be the main event. Not really sure what happened in the fight for the ACA flyweight belt. But now we have the new main event, which was supposed to be the co-main event. The new main event, Nikola Dipchikov and Magomed Rasulgasanov. This fight is a middleweight fight for the co-main event, ACA interim middleweight belt. This is a really, really interesting fight because he is 36, almost 37 years old. They're both pretty similar in the height, pretty similar in their reach. They're both on very, very long win streaks right now in their career. Nikola Dipchikov, 20 wins and 7 losses on his record. If you look at how he wins his fights, I mean, that pretty much sums it up for you. 16 KO TKO wins, 3 decision wins, and 1 submission win. The man has been fighting as a professional MMA fighter since 2009. I mean, bro, I was 3 years old at that time. He's been fighting for absolutely an amazing amount of time. He's on a 4-5 win streak, I guess, right now, with 1 no contest against Magomed Mustayev a couple of years ago. His opponent, Magomed Gasanov. Beast. That's all I gotta say, guys. He's just an absolute beast. 11 decision wins, 3 KO TKO wins, and 1 submission win. When you sort of look at it, you kind of lean towards Nikola Dipchikov if you haven't watched a little bit of film from Magomed Gasanov, because you do know that Nikola Dipchikov has really, really good power. I mean, like 16 or 17 knockouts on his professional MMA record, fighting since 2009. I mean, the man's an absolute beast. But Magomed Gasanov, even though he's not finishing most of his fights in the striking game, not really getting much submissions on his record, most of his fights going all the way and winning those fights by unanimous decision. Even though he's winning most of his fights by decision, he is still a very, very good striker. You don't really have to finish your fights to be a really, really good striker. Just look at guys in the lower weight classes inside the UFC that don't really get much finishes on their record, but win a lot of their fights by unanimous decision. Magomed Gasanov is one of those guys. Doesn't really have the power to put you away, but is a really, really good striker. And in this fight, if Nikola Dipchikov, does not get that first round knockout in the second and third round, with the cardio, the amazing kickboxing skills, the range that he's gonna have in the fight, because he has a really good reach advantage in the fight. All of those, the age even is gonna play a big factor towards Magomed Gasanov winning the fight. But I don't think we're going to see a finish in the fight. This is a 5-round fight, I believe. It is a 5-round fight, so that kind of increases the chances that it is going to be a finish. But the only person I think is going to finish the fight, if there is going to be a finish, is Nikola Dipchikov, because, I mean, Magomed Gasanov just doesn't have many finishes on his record. But overall, I think it's either going to be a first round knockout, or he's going to win the fight in a very technical kickboxing fight, and win the fight by 50-45 or 49-48 the unanimous decision. And overall, I think the better kickboxing skills from Magomed Gasanov is gonna get him the win, because if he kind of just wasted out that second round, where Nikola Dipchikov is the most dangerous, that's all he really needs to wait for. After the second round, the third, fourth, and fifth round, Magomed Gasanov is gonna be good at that point. The third, fourth, and fifth round is where he's gonna do most of his work and win the third, fourth, and fifth round. In my opinion, that is exactly what's gonna happen. And I have Magomed Gasanov winning this fight by 49-48. Or 49-46 unanimous decision. Should be a really, really good new main event for ACA 121 for the ACA interim middleweight belt. There's 12 fights in the fight card. A couple of fights have been canceled, as you guys can see right here. There's supposed to be 14 fights in the fight card, but 3 fights right here did end up getting canceled a couple of days ago. But yeah, that is my full card prediction for ACA 121. I know I stumbled a lot in this video. I know I don't really know much of these guys' names. I've watched a lot of film on all these guys right here, but I'm sorry. I'm from America, bro. I don't know how to pronounce a lot of these guys' names, so I'm sorry about that. But those are my full card prediction for ACA 121. If you guys like the video, subscribe to the channel, everything like that. But yeah, that's it for the prediction. I'm out of here. Let's go.